Janice Palmer, who will actually do the introductions and give you any background that she wants to give you about the webinar. But first I want to thank Ernie Nicely from Nicely Done, who always does provide the technical support for us. Just for those of you who might get confused, this is the younger Ernie, not the older Ernie, who's helping us out. I won't make any comments about the older Ernie, but anyway, it's the younger Nicely of Ernie Nicely from Nicely Done. And then we will have some questions at the end. Hopefully we'll have time for questions at the end, and for those of you who have done these webinars before, or for any of the people who are doing it for the first time, you can enter any question. You can enter questions in, type them in during the presentation or at the end of the presentation in the chat box, and then we'll try to answer as many of them as we can at the end. So I will now turn it over to Janice Palmer.
Great, thanks, Chuck. And we want to echo the appreciation to Ernie Nicely for all the technical support. It's very, very appreciated. And part of what we're talking about today is, as you well know, your advocacy efforts are integral to supporting ASBA's political agenda down at the Capitol, regulatory areas, as well as in your own local district. And so we have Geoff Esposito, Government Relations Analyst, who's really taken on the advocacy efforts and not only revitalized it, but really pumped it up to a new level. And so we're very excited to see kind of where we go and how to help you help us, and vice versa in our advocacy efforts. So, Geoff?
All right. Thank you very much for the kind words there, Janice. And thank you, Chuck and Ernie, as well. And thank you all for being here. So today, the reason behind this webinar, as Janice mentioned, we're trying to ramp up our advocacy efforts. And last year, we started doing lobby days again. And these lobby days were meant to bring folks like yourselves down to the Capitol to meet with your legislators, as well as attend committee hearings and be able to make your voices heard on key pieces of legislation that affect our political agenda. So today we're going to be talking about building relationships with those legislators and try to prep you for those lobby days. And so we're going to start off, we're going to go over how to talk to your legislators, how the legislative process works, and how to use the tools that ASBA has created for you to reach out to your legislators. So to start off, we're going to go over the legislative process. In here, we're not going to play the video here. Some of you may be familiar with Schoolhouse Rock. I'm just a bill. So the legislative process always starts off with the introduction of a bill around whatever issue a legislator so deems necessary. So this bill gets introduced, and then it goes into a process called first and second reading and committee assignment. Now, the first and second reading is sort of a procedural holdover from a time when legislators may not have been able to read. And these days, that's a little bit different. So it's not as important to the advocacy process. But committee assignment is a very important part because committee assignment can really determine whether or not a bill has an opportunity to move forward. The House Speaker and the Senate President get to assign bills to committee, and if they want to slow down the process for a bill, they can assign it to multiple committees, thus making it more difficult for that bill to make it through the process. So that is a very important part. Next up would be consideration of a bill within committee, and this is an incredibly important part of the advocacy process. When a bill gets heard in committee, you're able to use the request to speak system down at the legislature, which I'll get into more in a little bit. And this allows you to make your voice heard and make your opinion heard in support of, in opposition to a bill. It allows you to testify in front of that committee on that topic. If a bill dies in committee, you can really stop it dead in its tracks right there, or if you want, get it moving along faster if you can get it heard early. So this is really one of the most critical points in advocacy. So when we talk about the tools that you can use later, really think about it within the context of committee hearings. And that's why during our lobby days, we try to make sure you have an opportunity to see what one of these hearings are like. Next up in the process is the Rules Committee. In the Rules Committee, it's a little bit more difficult from an advocacy perspective, but this is very critical to the process in that the Rules Committee chairman can decide whether or not to hear any bill. So if the Rules Committee chairman doesn't like your piece of legislation, they can hold it, never give it a hearing, and it could be gone forever. So the Rules Committee, you may not have as many opportunities you may not have an opportunity to testify, and it's ostensibly just to make sure that a bill is constitutional and in order, but the chairman there has a lot of sway. So next up, somewhere in this process, the bills are discussed in the respective party caucuses. And this is very important. You are not allowed to testify and speak up, but if you meet with your legislators, if you're talking to your legislators about a specific bill, about an important issue, you can ask them to stand up and have their caucus support this legislation and stand up and fight to make sure that it is a priority. Because in these caucus meetings, generally the parties decide how and where they stand on certain issues and whether or not they as a whole would like to see it move forward. So this is important for when you actually meet with your legislators to talk to them about speaking up in their caucus hearings about these issues. Next, after it's made it through the committee consideration and the Rules Committee, it goes to floor action. This process, they can amend bills here like they can in committees, but this is different in that when they adjourn into the committee as a whole, you are not allowed to testify as well. So the only part in which you're allowed to really speak publicly and in front of these legislators is during the original committee committee consideration. So floor action, you can still log into the request to speak system and register your support or opposition to bills. You can still meet with your legislators individually, but by this point you will not be able to testify. So if it makes it through the committee of the whole process, gets an amendment or not attached onto it, the amendments are voted on, it goes through the process of third read and then a final vote, and after that it goes over to the other chamber where it goes through the process again. And it so basically goes through that committee assignment process, is heard again in the other house in committee so you can testify again, Rules Committee, floor action, and then it goes to this process called the Conference Committee, where the two different bodies of the legislature get together and they hash out the differences. So say the Senate passes a bill and then it goes through the House, and in the House it gets amended. They go into Conference Committee to negotiate the differences between the legislation and agree on a final version to send back. And if it makes it through this process, it passes, both houses pass the same piece of legislation. It goes on to the governor.
Jeff, just one question.
Yeah.
If the bill was exactly the same, passed one house and there were absolutely no changes made in the other house, then what happens?
It goes to the governor. It goes right to the governor. So thanks for bringing that up, Chuck. Yeah, so if there are no differences between the two versions, the Conference Committee portion is skipped entirely, and the governor can either sign it or veto. If she decides to veto it, the legislature has an opportunity to override that veto with a supermajority vote in either house, in both houses, I should say. So that's a little bit about the legislative process. Now I want to get into actually, how to talk with the lawmakers, and I wanted to go over this in the context of how to set up a register for our lobby days and get a one-on-one meeting set up for your legislators. So if you were to start off, first off, everybody should go and check out our advocacy pages, but specifically go to this URL here, www.asba.org/take-action. This page has really, we've tried to make it a central repository of all the advocacy information and tools you could need for meeting with your legislators and getting in contact with them and speaking out on important issues So once you get to this page, or this Take Action page, on the right-hand side in the top corner, you'll see a Lobby Day RSVP link, as well as the dates for the 4 lobby days this year, which you can see as February 12th and 13th, that's a Wednesday and Thursday, and then February 24th, March 10th, and March 24th, each of which are Mondays. And these coincide with Education Committee hearings. Thursday mornings are Senate Education Committee hearings, which is why we have the 2-day opportunity here. We try to structure that to talk about rural district issues, and so that people who have to travel far can have the opportunity to be provided accommodations. And so we do a training on Wednesday afternoon, and then that Thursday we attend the Senate Education Committee hearing, and you all go to individual one-on-one meeting with your legislators. The Monday lobby days are just a one-day affair in the morning. We meet and do a little training. We do a lunch, and then we go to the House Education Committee in the afternoon, and you all go off and meet individually with your legislators. So if you click on that RSVP link, you're taken to a page where you can email or call your legislators to get a conversation started. So you fill out this form here. You let us know which lobby days you'd like to attend, if you need help with overnight accommodations. And if you see up here at the very top, right before you enter your first name and last name, there's a little link for you to set up an in-person meeting with your legislator. So you'll click on that link, and it'll take you to a page where you enter in your zip code plus 4, and it brings up all of the people that represent you, the president, the governor, your 2 U.S. senators, and below that is the contact information for your local state senators and state representatives. So you'll have their phone number, their email address, their fax number. You just contact them in whatever way suits you to try and set up those one-on-one meetings. We like to have you set up those meetings because it's important that you start to build the relationship with those legislators and their staff. If you do need help, though, always feel free to reach out to either myself or Janice. So after you call them in and set up that meeting, make sure you put it on your calendar. You're all attending this training, so that's an important first step. And by coming to the lobby days, we'll do some other trainings and give you some talking points so that you're really prepared to address the issues with your legislators. So one last thing I just wanted to point out. Here's a little map of what the legislature looks like. Some people have asked questions about parking. I just wanted to make sure that we included a map here of what it looks like. There are 2 one-way streets, Adams and Jefferson. Washington curves into Adams there. If you were to come from the east to the westward, and there are a couple of public parking lots around there that make it easy to access the legislature. So I just wanted to make sure everybody had a chance to see that. So now we're going to go over all of the tools that we have on that Take Action page that you can use to contact your legislators on important political agenda items. So first off, the ASBA website, some quick tips here. You can see this is, once again, a screenshot of that Take Action page. We've been over the RSVP, the Lobby Day RSVP link, where to find that. Down in the bottom left-hand corner there by the Prezi logo, you'll see a Find Your Elected Officials link. That is the same link that is under the Lobby Day RSVP link. If you ever want to go to it separately without having to click on the Lobby Day link, you can just access it there to find your elected officials' contact information. But right now we're going to go over a couple of links under where it says Contact Your Elected Officials. You'll see that under the Support New State Standards and the Support All-Day Kindergarten headers. And these Contact Your Elected Officials links are form emails that you can edit and fill out to contact your legislators. So what you'll see when you click those links, you'll see this page. You'll have to enter in your zip code again. If you want to get really specific with the legislators that represent you only, and make sure to enter in that 9-digit zip code, which offers you an opportunity to look up there. And so it'll take you, after you fill that out, it'll take you to this page where you'll see a subject and a letter that you can edit and customize in any way you'd like to insert local examples and you can edit the subject, which I really recommend doing, because since this is a form, if a legislator gets multiple emails with the same subject, they just sort of know what's in it. So I always recommend putting into the header that you are a constituent of LD, say 24, or whatever your legislative district number is, which it'll tell you in the legislator's contact information down there. As you can see, I used LD 24 legislators here. And so I make sure to edit the subject header to put that you're a constituent. Maybe that if you're a school board member, you can put that you are a school board member in there, and just try to make the content unique. But if you just want to send the form as the letter as it is, you can do that as well. And an important part to mention is that this is not specific to school board members. The form letter in there is made so that anybody can use it and anybody can edit it how they'd like. So if you are a school board member and you'd like to contact them, I'd make sure to put in some of that information in there. So after you click submit, it sends them off. And you can also send letters to the editor. These links are once again under those issue-specific headers there. It'll tell you to send a letter to your editor. You can look up papers within whatever mile radius of your zip code that you choose. So right here I use my zip code. I chose 25 miles, which is the default there. And these are the letters that get sent out. So if I were to want to send a letter to the East Valley Tribune, it would take me, or to the Arizona Republic is the one I picked here. It'll take you to this letter. It'll tell you who you're sending it to, what their contact information is. Once again, a letter and a subject that you can edit. There's some talking points on the right-hand side there that you can just click, and it will automatically add it into the letter. So you can delete everything, start adding and subtracting as you will, and once again, enter in your personal information and click submit at the bottom, and it just sends it off for you. And it'll let you know if you've whether it'll keep you up to date on the process there about your letter. One last thing is that after you do all of these emails or letters to the editor, they'll take you to a share with your friends page. One last thing before you get to that. We also have a petition that you can sign in support of full-day kindergarten. We're trying to get a groundswell moving on this issue so that we can really get the conversation started with our legislators, get it into their minds again that this is an important issue, and hopefully get some legislation introduced and passed that restores fully funding all-day kindergarten. So this is a simple action you can take. You just fill it out, sign it, add a comment if you'd like as to why you support full-day kindergarten. But if you do any of these actions, it'll take you to after you do any of these actions, it'll take you to this Tell Your Friends page where you enter in your email address, you customize your message, and then you can add however many, up to 20 emails of your friends that you can send this out to, and it'll link you to their Take Action page, and they'll be able to do all these actions as well. So it's a very important step, one I recommend taking that can really help you out. And finally, I wanted to talk about that request-to-speak system that I mentioned earlier. Now, the legislature changed up the request-to-speak system very recently, so there are some changes going on there. A lot of you might have signed up with us before. I will need to re-enter your information down at the Capitol, but luckily the system is easier now in that all it takes is your a personal email address and a password to sign up down at the Capitol. And what it does is, like I said, it allows you to comment on bills from home. It allows you to sign up to testify at committees, and you can register your support or opposition from any bill. So this is great, even if you can't make it down to the Capitol. And on our Take Action page, you'll see this little subheader here where it gives you some steps about this. You just email me with that email address and password that you like, and I'll sign you up down at the legislature. We have a presentation which needs to be updated now with the new system, but it'll tell you how to navigate the request-to-speak system. And then you can print out some pretty simple sign-up forms to share with your friends and get them registered that you can send back to me, and I'll take them down to the Capitol. So once you're all signed up, this is where you log on to the request-to-speak system. It's right on the Arizona Legislature's website, azleg.gov. Right under that, the picture of the rotunda there, you'll see a Request to Speak tab. As you can see here, it says New Request to Speak system coming soon. That right now links to, it has a little sign into the Request to Speak system link there. And so you'll click that and you follow the presentation we have, and it'll tell you how to comment on any bill. So that's a great system to use. But by using all this stuff, by combining these tips, you'll be an effective advocate. And now, unless Chuck and Janice have anything to add, I think we can take some questions.
Just one, Geoff, do you, at the committee meetings, a lot of times you'll see the members of the committee having their computers out in front of them, and many times are they checking on the comments to see what they might be
That's
saying?
a great question, Chuck. Yes, they are always checking that, and they in fact list all of the names of people who have signed in support or opposition or as neutral on any given bill. So it's really great because they rarely hear from any constituents on any given issue. I think the average number of people they hear from them is about 5. And so to hear from constituents, especially people like elected school board officials and public school employees, it really helps get this out of the lobbyist realm and into the real world.
Let's say you're at home and you don't hear about a bill that's coming up to be discussed in the Education Committee till that morning or the night before. Or is it still too late to comment?
No.
Online, you can still comment?
You can still comment. Yep. Yeah, that's a very good
What about once the committee meeting starts?
Yes, until they actually take action on the issue, you can comment. But once they take action, then it's locked in.
But if it was the 4th bill on an agenda,
you
could still make comments while the meeting was going on.
Exactly. Okay. Yeah, and that's something that they wanted to make sure with the update in the new system is that you can see in real time what issues are up, who's up to speak next, and basically what their what their position is. So you're going to be able to. It's going to be very helpful in terms of that information and knowing like where they are in the process.
Okay. I see you've got a couple of questions.
Yeah. So one question here said that when I signed up at the Capitol for Request to Speak, it required either a voter ID number, the last 4 digits of a Social Security number, or a voter or a driver's license ID number. Are you gathering that information on your form, and how will you dispense of them once you've used this information? So this is, I'm glad someone posed this question because this information is not required to set up an account. What this information does is link your account with your voter registration, right? So it makes sure that it's a unique ID, and it lets the committee chair and members know that you are a registered voter in whatever area it is. We are not collecting this information because we felt that might be too much personal information, and we didn't want to make anybody uncomfortable. And we figured that if people wanted to link their accounts to their voter registration, that they could do that after they've been signed up by us down there, so that they don't have to feel uncomfortable sharing this sensitive information. So that's a very good question. Another question asks if we're going to be collecting friends' emails through this tool. And the only way, the only thing that will happen is if your friends get the email and they take action, then they will be signed up for our email updates. Until they actually take action themselves, we do not collect their email addresses. So this is if you send it to your friends, the only way in which they'll end up on an email blast system is if they take action themselves, which then they'll get our action alerts and daily in-session updates. So that's another good question. All right.
Okay.
Were there any other questions that people would like us to answer?
Okay. thank you very much. Anybody have any closing statements?
No. I look forward to seeing all you at the lobby days. This is going to be a great session. We're very excited.
Okay, thank you very much for attending today's webinar, and we really appreciate all the work that Janice and Geoff have done on this for all of our organizations, because as Geoff said earlier, you don't have to be a school board member to be able to use these tools. You could be a business manager, and they've made it simple enough that even our business managers will be able to understand it. But anyway, thank you again for putting all this together, and I won't say any more before I get in any trouble than I already am. Thank you, and good luck, and hopefully we can make some changes with our legislative process with this. Janice pointed out that the webinar has been recorded, and a link to the recording will be posted on the ASBA website and on the ASBO website. So thank everybody, and have a good rest of the day.